25th of November 2023. You're most welcome to the NILE CAST only on Westnile television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day every day from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name's Okumaringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines today. In the headlines tonight, Westnile NRM mobilizers angry over lack of support. Our district Kadi asks parents to keep children busy with religious studies during the holidays. And the late Bishop Napoleon Okalanga, overseer full gospel churches, laid to rest. This and more in the NILE CAST News Bulletin. Very good evening again, via. You're most welcome to the NILE CAST only on Westnile television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. Members of the National Resistance Movement NRM in the various local governments under the umbrella organization of the Westnile Effort for Museveni stormed the office of the resident city commissioner Arua City over the lack of support from the party. The mobilizers on Wednesday, before the official launch of the NRM regional reunion marathon, expressed their grievances to the resident city commissioner Arua City after the chairman NRM pressure groups under the NRM pressure groups network asked the members of the Westnile Effort for Museveni to pay 350,000 shillings for subscription. Take a look.
Members of the National Resistance Movement NRM party from the various 13 local governments across West Nile under the umbrella organization Westnile Effort for Museveni stormed the office of the resident city commissioner Arua City over lack of support from the party.
We want now things to be done openly. Yes.
The mobilizers on Wednesday, before the official launch of the NRM regional reunion marathon, expressed their grievances to the resident city commissioner Arua City after the National Coordinator and National Resistance Movement pressure groups and the NRM pressure groups network asked members of Westnile Effort for Museveni to pay 350,000 Ugandan shillings for subscription.
Why should we contribute? If the president wants us to get votes for him, he has to support your team. And you support us. That idea of contribution, to me, I'm saying no.
We have to reconsider our previous efforts. Not now. This is not the first time that people have come to take money away from us. A number of them have come in very many styles, and you use your money, we shall refund when things, but should the president pass, you will never see a coin, nobody. Some of us suffer. You have to pay bills that you have not eaten even a single coin.
People always deceive us. They take advantage of us. We protect the votes. We vote the votes. But we don't earn out of it.
During the 2021 general elections, the National Resistance Movement NRM party presidential candidate garnered 1,219,352 votes, representing 68.26% from northern Uganda, which was closely followed by the presidential candidate from National Unity Platform, Tibo Ismaili. The coordinator, Westnile Effort for Museveni, attests that several impersonators have collected millions of shillings from the members of the groups in the names of supporting the party, and yet the lives of the members have not changed despite dedicating their time and resources over time to support the party.
We already collected 171 million from people registering. So that is the fear when these people say, why should we register? Why should we this? That is the issue.
Serubiri Frank, the chairman, NRM pressure groups under the NRM pressure groups network, upon hearing all the grievances, asked the members not to pay any money to any person in the names of supporting the party.
People to collect money for their groups and keep that money in their groups. But for these things of registration, it is your own what? arranging it, because it's not me.
But Charles Ichogre, a rural resident city commissioner, pledged to forward the matter to the party's national chairman, who is also the head of state, for further recommendations.
One of the things you have highlighted very seriously is recognition. You do the job, the donkey job here and there after elections, nobody. Very painful, even if it was me. You need recognition. And the worst was when you were in Kololo, some people came back without food and some slept under the veranda. That's not acceptable. But I would like to beg for an apology on behalf of NRM. Please forgive us. There will be no more repeat of such things so long as I'm in Westnile. I want to promise, I want to pledge that I'm going to strengthen this pressure group before you.
Currently, the National Resistance Movement NRM party, through its mobilizers and pressure groups, is organizing a reunion marathon to attract new members and ensure that the existing ones remain viable and loyal to the party. Frederick Tamatri, Westnile TV, NILE CAST.
And more in our stories, Sheikh Abdul Jafar Kalara, the Aram Muslim District Qadi, has urged the parents to ensure enrolling their children for studies during the long holiday break. This, according to him, will keep them occupied and away from engaging in dubious activities as they are home. Take a look.
On behalf of the Muslim fraternity, I would like to register my sincere thanks to Almighty for allowing our children to successfully finish their exams. Those candidates who sat, we pray that they pass. And for those now who are now still sitting, we also pray that they go successfully. However, children now are breaking back home for holidays. More so the districts of West Nile. You can start from Arua, Nebi, Pakwachi, Zombo, other areas, Jumani, Moyo. We have some good number of youths who are coming back home now, and more so the young ones. We have one pertinent issue. Our areas nowadays have become contaminated. Children waste a lot of time on the streets staying. I will urge the parents that at least to keep the children after playing in some busy places, like in churches. I know they have the program. In mosques, they have the program. And in also these remedial classes which they have at least some hours in a day. Like in a day, you can have like 2-3 hours for a child to be busy. Let us not set the children free that they were very tired in school. Now we set them to go and loiter in town. I don't think it is a fair system of allowing our children to go without any guidance. So I'm sending the message to all the imams and the county sheikhs to at least preach the same.
And more in our stories. There was a sorrowful moment in Pakwach district as the Christians of the Full Gospel churches in the West Nile region paid their last tributes to the Reverend Napoleon Okalanga, the Bishop of the Full Gospel churches in Pakwach district, who died on Monday on the 17th of November 2023 at Nebi General Hospital. Alfred Jawok reports.
Reverend Napoleon Okalanga succumbed to diabetes at Nebi General Hospital, according to medical reports. Reverend Paul Miro, the National General Secretary of Full Gospel Churches, said that the late Okalanga has been battling with other sickness for more than 1 year, but he was shocked when he received the sudden demise of their member. Miro recalled how remorseful Okalanga was, and it will be hard to find a person like him.
What I know about Okalanga, he has been a man who loves people.
Meanwhile, the Pakwach district chairperson Robert Omitostin, who was the chief mourner during the burial on 24th November this year, described the late Okalanga as a dedicated man of God in Pakwach district. Omito lauded born-again churches for supporting government projects and urged other religious leaders to emulate the life of late Napoleon Okalanga.
late Reverend Bishop Okalanga, Napoleon. He was a very, very lovely person who loved people, and he was a very uniting force in town, almost a friend of everybody. So we shall dearly miss him. We pray that God unite his family, comfort and support his family, and I congratulate him so much for being very exemplary, more especially in the fights against disunity, by being a very united, loving person, and then again the fight against environmental degradation. Those very many neem forest trees along the road, I didn't know it was his. All along I used to think he was somebody from Parombo, and yet he's somebody just from within our community. He was such a loving person, and so for me, I have seen a very good servantship in him among the Pentecostal churches. And I want to say I am very happy for Pentecostal churches and these born again churches. But as government, these people have no problem with us. They are really preaching the very good gospel of unity, of supporting government, of embracing government programs. They are even supporting us in the areas of mindset, which is the biggest problem. So we shall support the church, the Pentecostal churches, and work with them, these born again churches, alongside others which traditionally were in existence, to see that we support our people.
He was born on 11th January 1962 at Lobodegi village and died on 17th November this year. At the time of his death, he was the district overseer, Full Gospel Churches, Pakwach district. He was survived by a widow, children and grandchildren, and he was laid to rest at his ancestral home, Lobodegi village, Pokwero sub-county, Pakwach district. Alfred Jawok, Westnile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories. With over 130 illegal entry and exit points and limited knowledge to detect human trafficking, Arua City, which is the regional city in the West Nile, has tuned to be one of the major pivot points facilitating the trade in Uganda. Frederick Geometry has more.
With over 130 illegal entry and exit points and limited knowledge to detect human trafficking, zone has turned to be
the conduit of human trafficking.
Many communities here live in abject poverty, exposing their vulnerability to the traffickers. Angumoko Evelyn, West Nile Region's Child and Family Protection Unity Officer attached to Uganda Police Force, reveals that the income inequality has made most of the parents vulnerable, hence increasing the rate of human trafficking across the borders.
There, the parents are being manipulated into believing that their economic hardship can be improved. Others have crossed borders, very many of them, like we have had. And the push factors are there in their homes, and the pull factors as well. The bigger ones, like we have seen, even nationally, people who are going abroad, they are going to look for better economic abilities.
From January 2023 to date, 6 cases of human trafficking have been reported at Arua Central Police Station. Aluma Habib, the Regional Secretary, Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, explains that with the cosmopolitan nature of Arua City, that is proximity to the border points of South Sudan and Democratic Republic of Congo, most of the victims of human trafficking are the children and the unemployed youths who are desperate of opportunities.
Arua is a conduit for these things. Why? Arua lies in West Nile, and remember West Nile is the second poorest behind Karamoja. Poverty levels are very high. Attitudes of our parents towards paying their children in school are the least. So when people come in the name of scholarships and so forth, which parent can resist that?
Uganda Multidimensional Poverty Index puts the West Nile region third on the log after Karamoja and Bushogasha regions. Arua Resident City Commissioner Charles Ichogore says Arua City is harboring numerous criminals and needs to be cleaned. Ichogore, who is also the chairperson of the Coordination Office of the Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Arua City Committee, says they are going to expedite on general mobilization, sensitization of the communities to ensure that the communities are aware of the existing criminals in their vicinities.
I know the borders are porous, But we don't give up. We are not going to give up. We are going to use any means available to curb this vice. It is retarding development. People will sit around and come and register students because we are poverty stricken. That's not acceptable.
The Commissioner of Police, Tunomojini Julius, the head of Coordination Office for Prevention of Trafficking in Persons under Ministry of Internal Affairs, notes that the cases of human trafficking are alarming in Uganda and many go unreported.
We had 421 cases, rising to 1,200 cases last year. But to us, that increase is a result of creating awareness, and it was also a result of opening up the economy after COVID. It is also as a result of our investigators getting skills on how to investigate crimes related to trafficking in persons. So to us out there are so many unreported cases.
Tunomojini further says Uganda is struggling a lot in responding to and managing cases of human trafficking.
Investigators can record a case of defilement, forgetting that there was sexual exploitation. So we are also encouraging them that whenever they are investigating cases, they should not only look at the predicate offenses, but also look at human trafficking, and more so the issue of money laundering.
Human trafficking, described by United Nations as one of the forms of illicit financial flows, deprives economic value for nations. And this has forced Uganda's Ministry of Internal Affairs to institute regional coordination offices for prevention of trafficking in persons. Uganda's Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act 2009 criminalizes all forms of trafficking, including sex and labor, and prescribes punishments of up to 15 years imprisonment. Frederick Tamadri, Westnile TV, NILE CAST.
And more in our stories, the Pakwach District Chairperson, Honorable Robert Omitosteen, has ordered the arrest and detention of James Nyolonga, the head teacher of Lobodegi Primary School, for allegedly embezzling 3.5 million shillings UPE funds. Alfred Jawok has more.
The head teacher, who is also accused of abscondment from his office since third term 2023 academic year, is said to have withdrawn the funds from the school bank account without the knowledge of school authorities after it's ago. According to information obtained from the office of Pokwero Sub-County, the accused failed to respond to calls made to him by both Chairman School Management Committee and Chairperson Local Council 3, Pokwero Sub-County. Attempts have been made to refund back the money which hit a snag. Okoth further said they reported the issue to the Office of Chief Administrative Officer, Pakwach District, for actions.
No longer James, it is a Lobodegi Primary School. Binu para reporting school the first week magaya to school tayaba. So during the first week I don't chakre chai dog near kumeremu but keg wa oru dan sama SMC ku deputy teacher mesido kanene pacho kuremu pare ginongwe tika mado pango manongo deme. Lubre kum sente wadu sente mera shell manongo podigiti lifu milona shell kudilifu daga bora pira beach. Say them my me scheming, teachers scheming for the ponji. My scheming is that we get a mango, yoring a we did any sort of work at the middle of the term, send the work. Milona shell could point a border as the water. Meadow for the past will be no go to the school. My sender is not accounted for. One child government make where some country or Sham and SMC could deputy a teacher. Which is the bonga pacho, and which you every binu ginonge, a mare, my atwero go which the level of bear, who mobile. So, an element of Peretec, don't challenge up contribution more tina. Abi, I and personal shall share who giso, watch the bonga. 1 meter bill is a cool accounting for send. If failure to account, we shall take him to the district.
Bidong George, Area Council 1 chairperson, where the school is located, blames Pakwach District Education Office for posting for them incompetent head teacher. Bidong further says the school has not held AGM for more than 10 years, which has affected the smooth running of the school.
UPE na diwacho di masa sam eshamanda dok meeting school ni ubirupe ori moka maramo apara rio mara bongo timo meeting ne NGN pa school ubirupe anda dong itimo meeting ginwangu sawa magitimo meeting de ekwero kapini nye tie kuremo na kasende cha tie kalobo kore dong mako sende cha enduoki wekara school mwayo ai dokanda school mwayo gugupin akesha ngwa meeting school eni juma giyero chalba management magibu si londo mama kama e mako yap school eni gati ebe school manda wekara school eni ukon lobu devi kirango awia mwa do chien do ko lobu devi de wado chien akesha dong kate kine dilobo kore na chede cha wo chede de makura school eni Niji ana chalo elja chen melo ko devi singo be meeting ja wano nya sende pa school e shamanda na edima sa sam do sende no makengo ke ja sende pa dua pa jurunyo.
Meanwhile, the Pakwach district chairperson Robert Ometostin has ordered the head teacher to refund the money or face arrest.
I've just been informed by community members of Lubudegi Primary School and some leaders of the sub-county that the head teacher, Mr. Nyolonga James, has embezzled about 1 million UPE fund. And from the beginning of the term, this very term, he has been in hiding. He did not come to the school even more than 5 times. So I have directly instructed and demanded that I need him in office on Monday the 27th without fail for other procedures to kick off. And this instruction, I will direct how to take it up ASAP so that it can be brought to order. We had a similar incident in Wankado Primary School, where the community was suspicious that head teacher mismanaged 2 million UPE fund. We caused arrest. When we caused arrest, immediately we demanded that that money be deposited to account. Short of that, the head teacher would not be what? Would not be released. And indeed, the money was deposited, then the head teacher was released. So that is the same scenario. If this head teacher does not appear next week, we will have him arrested. We shall not tolerate this kind of broad-day corruption.
However, a reliable information obtained from one of the teachers who preferred anonymity indicates that the head teacher was working in isolation with the School Management Committee SMC, which they suspect that he embezzled the UPE funds. But Pakwa Chief Administrative Officer Moses Arake Dalili has not yet commented on the matter. Efforts to get comments from the head teacher, James Nyolonga, proved futile at the time of filing this story, as he was out of the school. Recently, the head teacher of Wankado Primary School was also arrested over the same issue, but later ordered to refund the money he withdrew from the school bank account. Alfred Jawok, Westnile TV, Nile Cast.
That marks the end of the NILE Cast only on Westnile Television. Thank you, viewers, for always being with us from the beginning of the NILE Cast to the end of the NILE Cast only on Westnile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name's Okumbringa Christine. Have a good evening.